So good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Monday. So as you guys know, I pop on Mondays for just 15 minutes, 8:15 to 8:30, to share with you some hopefully good, informative, impactful information. This morning, what is on my mind is self-sabotage. How many times do you guys do that? Like, let me know in the comments, even if you watch this in the replay. Are you guilty of self sabotaging? Do you set goals and then get in your own way? Listen, we all have that issue. I am certainly guilty of it, particularly in my health zone of my life. So if you work with me at all, you know that I encourage my clients or my people in my like in my world on my very thoughtful campus. We look at life in zones. And so our health is one zone, our relationship is another zone, our mindset is a different zone. So for me, I tend to self sabotage a lot in my health zone. So a lot of times people will reach out to me and say, "Can how do you get so much done?" Well, I am really good at creating new things. But recently, I even found out, even doing that sometime, I use that as a self sabotaging tool. So, hi, Ann. Thanks for coming on. So, listen, I want you to really start thinking about what are ways that you self sabotage. So, I'll share with you some of the ways it shows up in different people's lives: procrastination, perfectionism, people who overthink, thinking that everything has to be perfect before they start. Have you ever met the person who's been maybe um, starting in a business or doing something new, and they've been doing it for years because they're so busy tweaking, they're waiting for it to get right? That is a level of self-sabotaging, because the truth of the matter is there is nothing perfect on this earth. And so in our mind, we get locked in that it has to be perfect, because oftentimes we're trying to avoid some form of like maybe rejection or hurt, shame, or pain that's been connected to getting it wrong in the past. So we have to be clear about how do we individually self-sabotage. Another way people do it is through relationships. Um, this one is a hard one, because people, until you begin to do your own emotional work, you will confuse obligation to people because of their titles in your life with true relationships. Here's what I mean. um as a Christian, many people say I have to honor my mother and my father, or because they are my sister, or they're my brother, or because they're my friend, I let things slide. Here's the truth: regardless of the situation, regardless of the title of the situation, no one deserves to be abused physically, mentally, emotionally. You do not have to stay in a relationship with a person because of their title in your life: auntie, friend, cousin, mom, dad, if there's a level of abuse. And so, in your choosing or thinking or believing that you're honoring, particularly again, as Christians, we must honor our parents. You are allowed to have boundaries. So, oftentimes, we will self sabotage ourselves, our goals, because we will be obligated to a unhealthy relationship or environment. So that's another way we self-sabotage. Other ways we do it is we avoid dealing with or conquering the goal that we set before us. So again, I recently learned that one of my self-sabotaging strategies, fully unaware of it before, is that I start new things. Now, that is really cool because because it looks like, oh, Kenesha is so productive. She's doing something new. She's writing a new book. But you don't know what I left on the table to write the new book. You don't know what opportunity I walked away from to start the new podcast. And I had to become aware of that. And I did that by hiring a coach. So I have a coach that's helping me recognize when I am self sabotaging through creating something new. So it's so important that you have someone to hold you accountable if you're hoping to get to a new level in your life. And I'm all about going to the next level. I don't want my 2023 to look just like my 2022 or 2021. I want it to look greater and better. So one of my greatest fears has always been that I'm always telling you what I used to do, what I used to be, instead of talking to you about what I'm currently doing. So I encourage you, whatever that vision, that dream, or that goal is that you have inside of you, I know that different people are in different stages of life. So maybe you are in that stage of preparation, where God has you. And I'm going to teach about this next month in my Bible study. And that Bible study happens in my um, Facebook group, my private Facebook group. But we're going to talk about your time in the wilderness and what you should be doing during that time in the wilderness. Because there is time for preparation. There is time where God will, separate you for a set time. Motherhood, when your children are young, that's it. That's that time to take care of them. But it doesn't make the dream go away, and it shouldn't. But during that time, you will be getting tools and skills that you can still use to help foster the dream. But what we don't want to do is we don't want to allow the self-sabotaging to stop the dream because of negative self-talk. So that's another form of self-sabotaging. So how do you begin to stop this? Coming back for the replay, love this word is what I needed. Awesome, and I'm glad you're finding it helpful. So here's the 3 things you can do to stop self-sabotaging. 1, you must begin to get aware of your patterns, aware of what do you do to avoid accomplishing your goals. So in order to do that, you got to be clear about your goals. So imagine you have a goal. You've set a goal for this year, for this month, for this week. And then all of a sudden you're not getting the goal accomplished. I want you to start noticing, what did I do instead of working on my goal, instead of focusing on what it was I said I was going to do. The awareness will help you begin to identify how you self-sabotage. So once you can identify it, now you can change it. And until you can identify it, you can't change it. The second thing, I want you to begin to investigate the emotions that come up that lead you to self-sabotaging, right? So those will be in therapy world, they call those, what were your triggers? What made you say, oh, I'll do that later? Oh, I got to go do this instead of this. What is the emotion that comes up? I want you to start getting comfortable with the discomfort of the feelings, because what happened is when the uncomfortable emotion comes up, I know for me, for certain, like sadness, I'm I'm in fight or flight mode. I'm trying to get out of there if it's sadness. But if it's loneliness, even some level of depression, if it is disarray, feelings of rejection, I will sit in those emotions and get curious about them. I will investigate. I will ask myself, what triggered this? What made you think this? So then I begin to look at, what have you been watching on TV that might have triggered? Did you see something on Instagram that triggered this, or on Facebook that triggered this? So you begin to investigate the emotion, the feeling of loneliness, or the feeling of rejection, or the feeling of abandonment. You begin to truly investigate it so that you can be so aware of what you feel that you can choose to shift it or move it in the direction you need the emotion to go so that you can accomplish the goal. This is how you begin to overcome self-sabotage. And then the last thing, I want you to offer yourself some compassion. Listen, we all have moments where we don't accomplish the goal, that we don't do the thing that we said we're going to do. But the thing that will never help you is beating yourself up. Do not use shame and guilt as a method for getting better. It doesn't work. So what I want you to move into is, okay, I forgive myself for starting a new project. I forgive myself for running away and avoiding doing the very thing I said I was going to do. I forgive myself for eating the Big Mac. Whatever the thing is that you did to self-sabotage your goal, forgive yourself. And the quicker you can forgive yourself, the quicker your mind will shift to give you a new opportunity to do something fresh and new towards your goal. So I hope this helped you. I really want you to come out of self-sabotaging. I want you to accomplish your dreams and goals in 2023. I do not want you to allow this year to just slowly move by and you thinking I'm going to start later, or I'll get around to it, or when life gets easier, or when the kids get older, whatever these stories you're telling yourself. that's keeping you from movement. I want you to get aware of them. Remember, we started with the awareness so that you can get clear about the emotion that's attached to them so that you can choose differently. And listen, one of the greatest reasons we self-sabotage is because we will have a conscious desire and we have a subconscious belief that would keep us from accomplishing our goal. So thanks, Stephanie, for joining. But I really want you to get so in tune with you that you know what these things are that you are doing. Hey, Derek, to self-sabotage. When you know what those things are, you can stop them. If you need help, that is what I do with my clients. Listen, I'm a coach that has a coach. I believe everyone should have a coach. If there's a new level you want to go to in your life, if there are some goals that you've had since 2020, 2021, 2022, and you haven't achieved them yet, you probably need a coach, and it's okay. What I do with my clients is I help them get past those mental blocks, because I promise you, the only thing that's stopping you, it is not time, it's not always money, it's not, all these other reasons, my age, you don't understand. It is because you have a thought or belief that you have gotten conditioned to, that maybe you're unaware of, it's in your subconscious mind, that is giving you a quote unquote good reason why you're not accomplishing the thing. But if the goal is to accomplish it, to write the book, to start the business, whatever that goal is, the dream is, it's a dream. The dream is inside of you because it is what God has for you. And the only thing that's stopping you is you. So while I got you guys on, I want to introduce you to my new. Maybe this was a self-sabotaging moment, but I don't think so. This was part 2 of the ABCs that celebrate me. So you guys may know that I have a girl book. Let's see, where is she? The book for girls, and so now we have the one for the little boys. So if you haven't got your book yet, make sure you order it today. If you know of any schools, daycares that you think the kids need to hear very powerful things about themselves, please encourage them to get this book. So this one for boys, it says, I is for incredible inquisitive. You are incredible inquisitive, asking questions all the time. I celebrate your intelligence. You have a brilliant mind. How cool is that? So I just think our babies should hear really beautiful things about themselves. Nubian Prince is who you were born to be. No need to worry. It comes naturally. So that is in the boys book. So we did that for the boys and the girls. So make sure you order your book today. Have a wonderful, blessed day. Listen, if you have a book inside of you that you're ready to get out and you need a coach to help you get there, hit me up. If you have a dream inside of you that you want to make sure you succeed this year in doing, hit me up. Let's make it happen. And if you're in the Rocky Mount area, join me and Jet tomorrow night. Jessica Hetu tomorrow night at Venmo. What is it? Venmo. No, it's not Venmo. It's a wine place in Nashville. I'm horrible. Vino Wine Market in Nashville at 5:30, and we're going to do mindset mixer. So join us there. So thanks so much for watching. Talk to you later. Have a wonderful, amazing Monday.